Welcome to Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern.
Ooh.
Halloween edition.
Happy spooky October 28th, everybody. We're live from the rainy corner of the Adafruit factory. It's raining outside, it's not raining inside. And with me is co-host Jessica Califano, Director of Community Support and Publishing here at Adafruit. Or we forgot to come up with Halloween pseudonyms for ourselves.
Oh, right. Mask Girl and Iron Becky.
Right, sure. Or, plays on our names. Well,
Oh,
during the
yes.
video break, we'll
Okay.
come up with spooky names for ourselves. And we have a fantastic show for you today. Jess, what's on today's show?
Today's show, let's see, we'll talk about what's on the blog with hashtag Wearable Wednesday.
Yep, and we'll debut a special non-Halloween related double-sided mirror project.
We'll talk about what we're wearing.
Yep, we're going to do a special last-minute Halloween costume idea rundown so that if you are panicked about what to be for Halloween or you just want some last-minute ideas to spruce up your existing costume with electronics, we're going to help you out with some costume project recommendations.
Component of the week.
It's the momentary and toggle standalone capacitive touch breakout boards that you can use to add touch sensing to any microcontroller or non-microcontroller electronics project.
So components of the week.
Yes, two of them. They're very similar.
And then Becky will answer your questions, and someone will win a prize.
Yes, so if you have a wearables question, you can post it up in the comments now or later in the YouTube or Google Plus or Twitter or on the Adafruit blog, and we'll round them up and queue them up for next week, and we'll do a drawing of we'll answer the questions, we'll do a drawing, and someone will win a copy of Getting Started with Adafruit Flora by me and Tyler Cooper.
Great.
At the end of the show.
Yes. And we have another prize for you. It's our discount code today is MIRROR. You get 10% off, excluding gift certificates and software, until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight.
So you can order up some last minute Halloween stuff.
Yes.
Very, very last minute.
Yes.
I'm just curious, Jess. Maybe you can come back to us for a second. Just curious, Jess, can people still order anything for Halloween?
Yes, you can still, if you're in the U.S., in the continental U.S., you can place an order for next day air before 11 a.m. tomorrow. It'll ship out tomorrow night, and you'll get it Friday. Mm-hmm. So, and then if you're in our same day delivery area range in New York City, you can place an order before 11 a.m. and it'll go out same day delivery.
So that you could do that on Thursday or Friday.
Thursday or Friday.
If you live in Lower Manhattan to our specific list of zip codes that we do same day delivery. So cool. Yep. So it's not too late to grab some stuff for Halloween, and you can get 10% off with that discount. Maybe offset the cost of that expensive shipping. That super fast, high quality shipping.
Yes.
Cool. Thanks. For
okay.
That. Director of Community Support knows all the answers about when you can get your order. Very helpful.
Yes, indeed.
All right, okay. So on Wearable Wednesday this week, you guys know that this is the hashtag where we collect all the wearables posts on the blog, and every Wednesday you can look at the blog and read lots of fun wearables articles by Jess and Leslie and me and other people. And we like to share your customer projects. Mm-hmm. So if you have a project that you made, we'd love to blog about it. You can send it in to our wearables contact email or on the adafruit.com/contact page.
Yes.
And we would love to post up about it. Or you can post it in the forums too.
Post in the forums, and we will see it and post it.
Mm-hmm. So here's some projects from this week. This is Molly Nichols made this NeoPixel ring hair bow / bow tie, and it's got a gemma in there, a NeoPixel ring, and some cool fabric ornamentation. She made it for the Grace Hopper conference this year, and it's got a magnet on the back and a hair clip, so you can wear it as a bow tie on your shirt or as a clip in your hair.
Yeah.
And she also made this NeoPixel hairdo.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah, really nice, using the insulated wires, and I'm assuming some kind of waterproofing on the back, like clear nail polish or epoxy or glue on the back of the NeoPixels. If your hair's dry, it's not really a problem if you don't sweat in your head, but
yeah,
make sure your hair's dry.
Make sure your hair's dry, definitely.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that with somebody with Lamore's hair, super pink would be nice to illuminate like a big bouffant really or something. Cool. And then if you had
an updo.
Yeah, and then if you had Gwen Stefani or a powder wig
white
or whatever.
Hair, yeah, it would look cool. That would look awesome.
But nice work, Molly.
I love this one.
This is forum member Hazy T wrote in with this EL wire skeleton costume he made for his son last year. Super cute piece of EL wire stuck to like pieces of craft foam that were then Velcroed onto his outfit. And he wrote a nice note about having tried to use hot glue and then having, after he said something like, I know you've said it like a million times, but I finally agree with you, or finally came to the realization that the hot glue is not the best for EL wiring costumes because it'll come, by the end of the night, it was starting to come apart. So, use the E6000.
That's why you always listen to Becky, kids.
About adhesives, I have some adhesives opinions. We did a whole segment on the show about it. You can look it up in the playlist. Anyway, this is it looks awesome. Like,
looks so cool.
Kids there's a whole bunch of this style kids costumes, right, where you just do like EL wire stick figure on your, like, because of the way toddlers and little kids run around, it animates really funny and has a very nice effect.
Super cute.
So thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and I don't mean to enforce this mask upon you forever. As soon as it gets uncomfortable, you can take it off.
I'll probably take it off in a little bit. All right, and this one is from Instructables, right?
Yeah, user Evolve1383 made this NeoPixel coat with an Arduino Gemma.
Cute, it's classy.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's like a nice Christmas party, like formal wear.
It could be for any party, and you just reprogram the animation to be the right color scheme, right?
Yep, very cute.
Oh, this one's super cool. Cheng Shu sent this in to me. She made a skirt with a NeoPixel strip and two IKEA Napa lampshades, and they're like this plastic lampshade that goes together with these leaf sort of pattern, and she put a NeoPixel strip inside it, put two of them together to make it into a skirt, and it looks awesome.
It looks so cool.
Diffuses the light great. There's a motion sensor in there to do some dance moves.
Yeah.
Really nice work. Definitely check out.
I really liked how she made a little animation at the beginning of the video with the IKEA dude from the instruction manual. It's really cute.
It's very thorough, and she made an Instructable as well for how she put it all together. So it should be pretty easy to make that at home if you have a piece of NeoPixel strip hanging out already and you live by the IKEA. I know I've been spending a lot of time practicing riding my motorcycle in their parking lot.
Yeah.
You can build a really cool skirt.
Nice. Okay. So
this is less of a wearable and just more of a cool, sort of like interesting conductive materials project. This is Jenna Dubois Blanc made this Space Lady capacitive touch mural, and so it's got an Arduino and then the Adafruit 12-key cap touch breakout board, and then a whole bunch of copper tape. So when you touch different parts of it, and it's got NeoPixels wired up to the different parts, then it activates animations. And likewise, she made an Instructable about how she put it together. Really fun videos.
Yeah, really fun.
Nice home decor project.
Yeah. This is, I guess, close up.
Oh yeah, that's a close up of the circuit. Yeah,
nice.
There's the cap touch board.
That looks fun.
Neat. And then last but not least, in our roundup of customer projects this week or community projects, is Ray Powers' NeoPixel strip Cylon goggles. He sent them in on Twitter, so you can watch the little video animation on the blog or on his Twitter of the Cylon LEDs
That's
animating.
always a really cool looking project. People will know what it is right away.
Right, so like these glasses kind of look like, what's that X-Men character, Cyclops? This looks a little bit like Cyclops from X-Men, but then like when they're off, but then when it's on, you got like a more Battlestar Galactica Cylon thing going on. So like, I don't know, maybe you can have like a costume that does double duty, or just kind of a mashup costume.
Nice.
So thanks for writing in with your with your experiences and your projects. If you have more Halloween stuff going on, but it hasn't quite like materialized yet, there's still time.
Yeah, and you can still send it to us. We'll still post it next week. People like to see for next year, and I know some people don't finish till last minute. I'm gonna be very last minute with my costume.
What are you gonna
this
be
year.
for Halloween?
I don't actually know yet. So yeah, it's gonna be really last minute.
If you have suggestions for Jess, you can write them in the chat. We had discussed Wednesday Addams, which is your go-to.
Yeah, that's my go-to usually.
My go-to was Pippi Longstockings until I like caught my hair hangers like on somebody's face in the in the busy, and I was like, oh, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
The streets are too crowded for that.
Anyway, if you have a Halloween prop, you can enter it in the Halloween props contest that we're
giving
co-sponsoring
away
with Instructables.
tons of prizes. We have some toolkits we're giving out. We have a printer bot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big prizes that's the Instructables props contest. So you have to make an Instructable about your project and then enter it into the contest. And then you can keep up with all of the latest Halloween stuff going on in the Adafruit community on our blog in the Electronic Halloween series.
Yeah, so if you just do a search in the blog for #Electronic Halloween, you'll see all the posts we've done. We've been doing one a day for the whole month, at least one a day. So there's lots of cool electronics Halloween projects that we've been posting about.
Right, and they often cross the line between wearable and not. So you'll find, if you go also the Halloween category in the blog, that's very similar, and you'll see all of the Halloween projects.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, moving right along and skipping out of Halloween just for a brief moment, if you will. This week's project debut is it's not quite a wearable that you put on your body, but it's a crafty project, and that makes it under our purview on the Wearable Show, even if it's not quite stuck onto your person. If it involves crafty skills, I'm doing it. So this is a cool project. It's an Android smart home mirror. So you use an old, out-of-date Android tablet, and you load up this app that Hannah Mitt made that we found on GitHub, and then you put it behind a piece of two-way mirror plastic, and you get this cool informative mirror that can tell you stuff.
It could be like, hey, Becky, it's raining today. Don't wear your NeoPixel hat outside.
Right. Make sure to wear your NeoPixel umbrella instead.
Exactly. There you go. It's wearable related.
It can show your calendar reminders and stuff, but we have a video, so why don't we just show that?
Cool. Let's do it.
In this week's project, we're going to build a smart home mirror using an Android tablet and some two-way mirror plastic, so you can get a heads up on your day ahead before you leave the house. I found this project on GitHub by Hannah Mitt, and since I've never done any Android development before, I thought it would be a fun place to start. I downloaded the Android development software for my computer and proceeded to follow the instructions about how to load in an app. The trickiest part for me was making sure I had the right SDKs installed for the version of Android I was running and getting that connection going. Once I updated the firmware on my Android tablet and I had all the right SDKs installed, the program just ran, and it was super fun and satisfying. This is a great project to do with an older Android device that you're not really using for anything currently, and it can show you the date, the time, the weather, your stocks, and even the latest XKCD. You can find two-way mirror plastic online or at your local plastic store, and they'll usually cut it to size for you, or you can laser cut a more fun design. To install the mirror in your house, just use double-sided tape to stick the Android tablet to one corner of your two-way mirror plastic, and then cover the rest of the mirror plastic in a dark material like black construction paper. Then just mount it on your wall with a power supply running to a wall outlet, and set your display preferences to never turn the display off while the device is plugged in. Then you've got a smart mirror for your entryway at your house that'll give you the critical info right before you leave. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Hannah, for developing this fun project that you can find on GitHub, and subscribe for more project videos from Adafruit.
All right, nice project, Becky.
Hey, thanks. I mean, I really just kind of tried to follow Hannah's instructions and learned some things on the way. So look for the Learn Guide soon. I didn't quite finish it in time for the show yet, but it'll be up soon. And then
yeah, I've seen projects like this with Raspberry Pi.
Right, yeah. So this was just one strategy. You could do this with any display that's black with white or colored letters on it. It doesn't have to be an Android tablet. This is just the easy way in for me, since I had never done any Android development stuff. So it was a good way to, since it was a prefab app that was already there, I just download it and configure my software setup. It was fun because it had a pretty... I always talk about when I'm making projects an intermediary successes for people, so that they can feel encouraged to move to the next step instead of having a daunting thing and have it either work or fail. So this was a fun small project where I got to feel a win just by making sure my software was set up properly, you know. And you get this cool home decor project that
yeah, that's awesome. It's really cool. I think people walking into your house are going to be like, whoa, that's so cool. It's from the future.
Cool. So if you like that project, it doesn't, aside from the USB cable, there's not very many Adafruit products involved there. But if you can get 10% off your USB cables,
Why not?
Anything else in the Adafruit store with code MIRROR until 11:59 p.m. tonight.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about some last-minute Halloween costume ideas.
Oh crap! I forgot to prepare for Halloween. I think I'm a little loud. Do you bring me down just a little bit? I think I'm too. What do I do if I don't have a Halloween costume yet? But Jess, I have an electronics workbench that has this and that hanging around.
Yeah. I have so many extra NeoPixels laying around. What am I going to do with them?
Here's our, so if you have just like a couple things hanging around, we have some ideas for maybe what you could turn those things into a Halloween project.
Yeah.
Or you can always, of course, or these are also projects that are fast to make.
Exactly.
So even if you wanted to overnight the supplies, order same day or next day air by 11 a.m. tomorrow, then you can make this real quick on Saturday morning before you go to your party or whatever. The first one is this nylon goggles. We saw Ray Powers make a pair of them earlier in the show. Phil B made this tutorial. It's pretty simple structure. It's a strip of, there's Ray's. It's a simple strip of NeoPixels inside a pair of sunglasses or safety goggles or wind, like snowboarding goggles, any sort of glasses, and it's a very simple trinket circuit with a live poly battery and a switch, and it just plays this animation back and forth. You can get away with hot gluing it or taping it inside if you don't have a lot of time to let like E6000 dry, and it's a lot of payoff for, and depending on how you style it, can be a lot of different things, like Cylon, what's his name, Barry Manilow, Cylon.
Cylon?
Like just like you can make like zombie anything, you can make Cylon anything.
Got it.
Cylon Martha Stewart.
I was like, what are you talking about, Barry Manilow?
I
was so confused for a second. I was like, I don't remember Barry Manilow being a Cylon.
That's just my fan fiction.
That's very
the Battlestar Galactica Barry Manilow.
Okay.
Fan fiction.
Mashup.
Yeah, mashup.
Cool.
Anyway,
okay.
So we've got a tutorial for that Phil B wrote on the learning system. You can look that up. Larson Scanner Shades.
Yes.
Type it into your browser now. Save it for later.
Cool.
Next up. Oh, the superhero power plant that I'm wearing today. This one is cool because Tony Stark's just supposed to be like a regular guy. So if you don't have a lot of time to make like the whole big Iron Man costume, you can just do a white T-shirt, a pair of jeans, and this thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like a piece of laser cut plastic, 2 pieces of laser cut plastic. You use a dry erase marker to fill in the etching areas to make the dark marks, and then just like solid copper wire through the holes. And it's a NeoPixel ring and a Gemma. It's like really simple. So if you have a NeoPixel ring and a laser cutter, I also saw somebody make one of these with like the top of a disposable drink cup, like a plastic coffee cup, and like it with some wire, and it looked like almost as good as this laser cut.
Yeah, you can just like cut it.
Yeah, it's just like already round and has ridges in it and stuff. So like,
yeah, why not?
Go with the flow. Anyway, so all you need is a slice of pizza, a white T-shirt, and this thing, and then
there you go.
Tony Stark on his day off.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, this one is the NeoPixel Punk collar. It's just 5 through-hole NeoPixels and a Gemma on a leather studded collar. There it is with the Larson scanner code that Phil B wrote, and then you can program it to do whatever you want. It comes together pretty quickly, and it doesn't have too much glue drying, so you can put it together in easily like 2-3 hours and be out the door.
Cool. It's a good one.
Here's what the tutorial looks like for that one. So that's really all the parts you need is the Gemma, the battery, and the 5 through-hole NeoPixels. And you could modify it to be just regular LEDs too, and then you wouldn't even... We have another version of it, the regular LED punk collar that doesn't even have a microcontroller. And it's just a battery, the potentiometer, and LEDs like that too.
Nice.
Okay, lastly, on our last-minute suggestions is the Tron hoodie. So if you just have some EL wire and an inverter hanging around, you can stitch it onto the perimeter of your hooded sweatshirt, and boom, you're good to go.
There it is. Looks cool.
Also available as a tutorial. Are you sensing a theme here?
Yes.
On the Adafruit learning system. So if you have any more suggestions for last-minute electronic Halloween costumes, like you can let us know in the chat or the comments. And we hope those suggestions help kick off your project or help electrify your costume if you like have a costume already that just needs like a little extra pizzazz. Try some of these things.
There you go. And if you want to get any things for your costumes, and you can get 10% off, discount code MIRROR. And let's move on. Component of the week.
I know, we're running long because we love Halloween so much. Component of the week, we can sail through this, is the momentary and toggle capacitive touch breakout board. So these are cool because they basically just set a pin high or low when you're touching it or not touching it. And it has an onboard LED too, so you can use it to trigger a circuit like this in the next slide, this little motor circuit. Without any microcontroller at all. It's just a transistor and a power supply, and when it triggers it, it sets the transistor pin high, which allows current to power the motor. So, but you can also hook it up to a microcontroller to like usually if you use like a capacitive touch sense library that the calibration has to be done in the Arduino code, and it's not like the most robust cap sensor by turning an Arduino pin into one, but this is a dedicated CapTouch chip, so it's going to work a lot more reliably, and then you can connect it up to like your Gemma or your Flora if you want to get that really robust, or that actually you don't want to write the code for the actuator, or you don't have room on your Gemma for that library. You want to save that code space for NeoPixel animations or whatever. So it has the little pad on it, and it also has a pin you can solder a wire onto to trigger it with, like, your Space Lady mural or whatever. There's two different kinds. There's momentary, that's just on when you touch it.
Right.
And there's toggle, that's just on when you touch it, off when you touch it again. We have a project tutorial in the learning system that you can read that's by John Park. It's this Twinkle, what's it called? Twinkle Fairy Dust.
NeoPixie dust bag.
There you go, NeoPixie dust bag for
your Tinkerbell costume.
There you go. And his daughter wanted to dress up as Tinkerbell, so he made this touch sensing NeoPixie dust bag with a NeoPixel ring, and it changes the animations when you touch it.
You could do a good Tinkerbell. You have the same hair color. You did a little bun.
You're right. Yeah, it's also Wilma Flintstone. It's the same hairdo, right? It's the same it's like square out with like a bouffant front and then like a high bun.
Maybe next year you could do a little Tinkerbell costume.
Yeah. I'm so fairy-like. I'm so clumsy. I break things all the time. So there's two types. Those are the components of the week, the toggle and the momentary. We previously on the show covered the 5-pin output one, and then we saw earlier in the show somebody used the Jenna used the 12-key output one. But I just wanted to highlight how easy to use these single actuator ones are, and how fun they are to get your hands on. So whether you're doing a Halloween project or not, you can get 10% off on these CapTouch breakout boards by using code MIRROR. Good all day long.
Cool. Okay, let's answer your questions.
Okay, if you guys have questions, ask them in the comments or the forums or lots of places, and I'll answer them on a future show.
Cool. Okay, so this one's from Hazy T. Becky, I want to make a gaudy Christmas hat using the hat below. I plan to put a dozen NeoPixels behind some of the red, white, and green diamonds and program in some animations. My question is, how do I connect them across the stretchy fabric? Once I pull the hat down over my head, any wire or non-elastic thread will break. Thanks.
Cool project idea.
Yeah, that hat's really cute.
We did a sequin project on a hat like this, and you can see we kept the circuit kind of localized to the brim there. But one idea I had for you, well, I have two ideas. Bill in support wrote a nice reply to this forum comment, suggesting zigzag stitches with conductor thread, because when they're folded like this and you stretch, they'll give you a little bit more space.
Right.
And if you've seen any of the high tech stretchable circuit boards, they're all kind of like a zigzag shape that then flex stretches. But a simpler way would be to just keep your Gemma at the crown of the hat, and then have the LED circuits come down like spiders. So are you using a Gemma? I can't remember. If you're using a Gemma that it doesn't say, right? NeoPixels, though, not just LED sequence.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Well, the NeoPixels have to be in a chain, so if you look at something like the brain cap, it has lines that are perpendicular to the main area of stretch. So the main stretch is laterally. So if you make the traces down, then when they stretch, they're just going to move further apart from each other. They're not connected directly along that stretch line. So you could have your pixel lines go up and down on the hat, going from the crown to the brim. is one strategy, and you could also use the zigzag method that Bill described in the forum post. You just have to worry about keeping your traces nice and far away from each other if they're going to take up that zigzag space.
Yep.
Cool project idea. Let us know how it goes.
I want to see a picture. Okay, so this is from Ankita. I'm trying to light 40 Flora RGB smart NeoPixels using Flora. Should I use copper braid to connect the power and the ground lines, or just sewing them with conductive thread will be enough? What about the data lines? If the recommendation is to use copper braid, do I sew them to the ground and power lines, or do I solder them? Help.
Just use wire, for sure. Copper braid is cool, but it's uninsulated, and so like unless you really like this silicone coated wire is so flexible. I would say it's even more flexible than copper braid, and copper braid's thick and uninsulated. So the silicone wire will carry a lot of current, be insulated, and very flexible at the same time, and smaller than the copper braid. So like in the EEG costume cap tutorial is the one that shows how to solder up the NeoPixel circuit with this wire, like tiny little pieces in between, depending on how far apart you want them to be. But that's just a lot of power, and if you look at like the amperage draw on 40 NeoPixels, like it's a lot, and so you don't want an uninsulated circuit like that, like all around your body. It's just like not awesome and not advised for like robustness. What if you bend on it and it shorts out, and then it gets hot and it's on your body, and it's just smart to use. Now we have this really flexible wire. Just use the wire and solder it. Yeah, and you can use these mini pixels, or you can use the Flora sewable ones. You just have to solder 2 wires into one hole for the power and ground.
Cool. Okay. So this is from Lil Olivia 179. I'm making the sparkle skirt, but I'm using the sequins with Flora. On the LED sequins overview page, it says when powered from 3.3 volts, they draw about 5 milliamps, so you can put up to 4 or 5 in parallel on a single microcontroller pin. I have about 20 I want to use, so how many strings of sequins in parallel can I use on the Flora? As in, how many can I put with all the different ports on the Flora? Given the accelerator is using some ports too, could I put more than 5 in parallel? Would they just fade? Also, how many could I put on the Gemma? Sorry, I'm still a noob when it comes to electronics.
That's okay, that's what we're here for. Here is the handy Flora pinout diagram that will let you see what each pin is capable of. That's on the Getting Started with Flora guide. And if you're using the accelerometer, that's going to take up your SDA and SCL pins, which can also be used as digital outputs. So, and since there's 8 digital outputs on the Flora, then that leaves you with 6. So, and if each pin is capable of providing like 20 or 30 milliamps, so you can only put like 5. Yeah, if you put more than 5 sequins in parallel on a pin, it might overload the pin and damage it, and it also just might be dimmer. Like you're definitely not going to get the desired result if you put more than 5. But 5 on each of 6 is more than 20. So you should be good to go with Flora. You just have to have them all coming off of the Flora, and that's why the sequin or that's why the NeoPixels give you an advantage, because you don't need to have each set of 5 connected to the Flora. Right. They're just all in one big long chain. So for the we're using the sparkle skirt. For the sparkle skirt, it makes it like a much more the circuit much more like straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, so this is from L. Putnam. Hello, I've been sewing with conductive thread, but I would like to use it in a sewing machine. I have an overlock sewing machine, Singer 14SH754, and I'm wondering what type of thread to use in this type of machine. Thanks.
Well, I don't have every sewing machine, so I can only tell you what I've tried. And I have tried putting the 2-ply conductive thread in the bobbin of a regular sewing machine. That's a sewing machine with the bobbin on the bottom and the needle on the top. Now, and it works because the bobbin thread doesn't have to travel through a complicated path or do any switchbacks. It's just basically free. And then the tension, though, is pretty uneven between the top thread and the bottom thread, because the top thread is plain cotton, which is much more flexible. So it works, but barely, right? And then in an overlock machine, for those of you who don't know, it's like it's a machine that cuts and finishes the edge of a fabric at the same time. So if you look at like the side seam on your t-shirt or like inside your jeans, any like finished edge that has lots of stitching over it is usually made on an overlock. And the machine has 4 threads, and they kind of go through pretty convoluted pathways to get to the fabric. And so I would say if you're familiar with your machine and you know that there's one, but they're all different, right? The routing. Yeah. If your machine has one thread that has a far less complicated path through the machine than the others, then you could try it on that one and mix it with plain thread. But then again, overlock machines want like a uniform tension over all the threads, so, or like a balance between the tensions of all the threads. So it might throw off that balance and cause the machine to jam, or just not have a desired output. So I would say give it a shot in the least complicated thread routing and use plain thread in the others, but no guarantees. And the only way I've gotten it to work is with 2-ply in the bobbin, the sewing machine. I can tell I've been talking too long when I get out of breath after answering a question.
Okay, well that's it. That's the last one. So let's pick a winner.
Okay, here will you pick from the sticky bird hat a lucky winner? Nice questions, guys.
Yeah.
I liked those questions.
Good questions.
I mean, secret. I picked the questions.
Oh, cool. So it's L. Putnam.
Overlock
sewing machine question.
Great, awesome. Congratulations. You win a copy of our intro book, Getting Started with Adafruit Flora by me and Tyler Cooper. All you have to do is email Jess at support@adafruit.com, and we'll get that out to you in the mail. Thank you so much for your question, for participating in the forums. So if you have questions, you can ask them in the YouTube comments or on Twitter or Google Plus or whatever, and we'll slurp them up and
answer them next week.
Yep.
Cool.
If you didn't win, or you just want to get some cool electronics and help support the show, our discount code this week is MIRROR for 10% off everything in this store until midnight.
And don't forget to enter our Halloween props contest and to check the blog for our awesome Halloween coverage. And if you want to get a wearables tip in your inbox every day, you can sign up for Adafruit Daily on adafruitdaily.com.
But Jess, what if I am interested in 3D printing instead?
3D printing coming soon.
We have all of these really fun daily newsletters happening at adafruitdaily.com. It's free to sign up. We won't spam you or anything. And check it out and pick which ones you want to sign up for.
Yep. Right now we have wearables, maker business, and electronics tips. All really fun. I get all of them. I read them every day. I love them.
I love Kelly's headlines. She writes really fun subjects for the tips. Cool. So you can sign up there.
Great. And don't forget to tune in tonight at 7:30 for Show and Tell and 8 p.m. for Ask an Engineer with Phil and Lamore. And then tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's 3D Thursday.
3D Thursday.
There'll be a new Halloween project. The Purple People Eater project is coming out tomorrow. And you can hang out with Noe and Pedro on the 3D Thursday Hangout. That's their broadcast show. And then don't miss their project tutorials that come out every Thursday. Also, in the 3D Thursday coverage on the blog. It's just like Wearable Wednesday, but with 3D printing and on Thursday.
Yep.
Major theme day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Jess, for hosting.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you guys have a really happy Halloween and that you share make sure to, before you start partying or whatever.
Take a picture.
Take pictures and just a little video. You're going to be really happy that you had that video later if your costume falls apart or you lose it or you spill something on it or it breaks.
Any sort of crazy thing happens. It's Halloween. You never know.
Right. So take some pictures so that then, November 1st or whenever, you can share them with us and we can put them on the show and on the blog. Yes. And we'll be back again next week with more full steam ahead, more wearables into the holiday season.
Great. Bye, guys.